Hey everyone, I want to talk today a bit about the different ways of expressing ourselves and relating with our emotions, processing them, and because sometimes people learn or hear something in this field of self-development and spiritual growth, and they start to think, well, I shouldn't say that. And there's nothing you shouldn't say as long as you're not being violent towards another person with what you're saying, because there is such importance in all forms of self-expression. So I'm going to speak about three general categories, you could say, that the way that we're expressing our emotions and processing them falls into. And first is simply venting, then there's the solution-oriented processing, and then there's the positive thinking spin. And this isn't to say that one of these is better or worse than another. It's to say that all of these are important and valid, and we need to do all of them at some times. So don't make any of them wrong, but know when it's time to do which of these three general categories. So venting is kind of obvious. It's like, oh, my car broke down, it was miserable, and I was stuck for a while, and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes there's just experiences that we have from those mundane things to more challenging emotional experiences in life that we just need to get off our chest. And suppressing our emotions and being in this big strong man sort of, our strong woman or person attitude that we have to just ignore it and move past it as quickly as possible prevents us from actually feeling the relief that venting provides. And venting is shown to bring health benefits and psychological benefits. It's necessary. We just have to let that energy go. And sometimes, so I'll move on, but we'll come back to venting. The solution-oriented processing is when, we're talking with someone, or we're using our own journaling or introspective practices to move the energy and know what is the solution to our problems. Like, we're doing shadow work to get to the root of why we're feeling the way we're feeling. We're finding a healthy pathway forward to make changes in our lives or address certain situations that can bring relief. And we're looking within ourselves for the answers. And this is really important for the big stuff. And there's this pitfall, for one, of going to this approach when, for example, somebody's car has just broken down, going to the story of why did you manifest that for yourself. It's kind of like this blaming energy that interrupts the process and doesn't let that energy move. And there is this sort of metaphysical level at which we are all, through our vibration, creating the experiences that we have. But that isn't what somebody who's just been through a difficult situation needs to hear, because there's so many other people involved in all of these co-creations that sometimes, like, you're having a bad day because your boss was horrible to you, and do you really need to hear in the story, why are you manifesting a bad boss? Do you really need to tell somebody, why are you manifesting an abusive situation? Because that doesn't make people feel better. And also, even if you're not in that approach and you're in the approach of like, okay, well, how do we fix this? First of all, if we're just going to fix it in a non-blaming way, that's great. But if somebody hasn't asked, like, I need a solution, and you're coming at them with one, it's complicating the situation a little bit. Advice is great when it's asked for, but unasked for advice never solves any problems. It makes more problems. And one way around this is a simple ask first. Ask for permission. Something's coming to me. Do you think I could share some tips for you? And when you get a yes, proceed, but also tune in. Like, how willing is that yes? How genuine is that yes? Because if the person isn't really open to hearing it, it's of no use. And so this third approach is the positive approach, turning the situation or turning the story inside into something positive. And this is also generally helpful, but it doesn't always need to be the actual thing that we do, right? Sometimes what we need is more to be with our experiences. If we go to this positive approach right away and we don't really allow ourselves to be fully with the challenges and the emotions that has brought up, then we bypass and we are suppressing the experiences and the emotions that are getting lodged into our body. And a lot of people do this and they call it healing. So this turning things into a positive, looking for the reason, because everything happens for a reason, is useful when we need to find a way to take a step forward. When we feel as if we're lacking confidence and self-esteem to make the changes in our life that we need to, that's when we need those approaches. But people turn this positive attitude thing into something that's actually harmful when it's used to, everything happens for a reason. Like all of the horrible things, like it was supposed to be that way. A lot of people come with these justifications, with these big things, like there's a lot of collective grief that sensitive souls can experience, and it's really important to honor your feelings in that process of being connected with what's happening at a larger level and feel really deeply and not just jump to this, well, it's all happening for a reason, there's a higher purpose to all of it. This is true, and that doesn't mean don't feel what you're feeling. It's actually in feeling what you're feeling that the relief and the energy movement and the insight is going to come. So we need all of these three approaches at different times, and none of them replace each other and invalidate each other. It's just a matter of knowing when to use which one of them. So these spiritual people that say, oh, don't complain, don't say anything negative ever, they're making people lodge negative energy in their body by not allowing them to express it. And people that say, well, there is no positive, there is no reason for all of this chaos, are not letting themselves open to the higher intelligence of spirit within them to help them move forward. So don't negate anyone's self-expression or your own self-expression. Honor what comes up for you and be with it. Yes, find a solution, but not everything needs to be turned into a positive. The positive is there to help us set our sights and take the steps forward, but we're not doing that in a way that we're blocking ourselves off and denying what's really there inside as well. Some recent experiences and seeing just generally where people are at has made me want to share this. I hope you find it rather helpful, and if you need help with processing, I'm doing guidance sessions, channeling, and astrology sessions. Have a great day, everyone.